Sales page versus about page. So I just want to clarify that what we worked on 2 weeks ago was the sales page copy, right? It's the kind of the emotional pain story. Don't worry, I was there too. And this is what I went through, and then that whole hero's journey, right? So we want to save that for the sales page, because sales page is about the customer. What are the pain and problems, struggles that you went through as a customer? And then I want to tell my side of the story so you understand that I share similar struggles, right? That's the sales page story. About page is about branding. About page is not, we're not going to use any of those negative emotions or anything like that hero's journey. Oh, don't worry, I was there too. Like, we're not using that. About page is going to be about what makes you different. So the brand story is more about me. One of the things that I always say is like, giving is the best way to receive. But another lesson there is teaching is the best way to learn. So most of the content that I'm making, I'm able to come up with those content because I'm putting out content. Because I am putting out content, it forces me to sit and write it out. And it forces me to dig in a little bit more about it, think more about it. One of the biggest reasons why you should be making content is not so you can get followers, so you can get customers. You can actually learn and you can become better at what you do. I am very impulsive and emotional person. Throughout my life, I started out like coding because I saw this HTML and I was like, oh, hello world. And then I made this HTML and I really got into coding, right? But at some point I got really good at it and then I kind of got bored. Then I realized that, oh, I can actually learn design. But after a while I got bored of it. Then I wanted to go to film school. I'm like, oh, I'm going to be a filmmaker. I'm going to save up some money so I can make a short film. But in order to do that, I started freelancing. But while I'm doing that, I also learned SEO and marketing. And then when I started my agency, I learned about Marie Forleo and their copy cure, and I really got into copywriting. And then what I realized is when I was really into copywriting, that had a lot to do with storytelling. So all these little different passions that I had, it's because I'm impulsive. That's how that impulsive emotion personality of mine hurts me. So all those multidisciplines that I wasted my entire life doing instead of just focusing on one, which slowed me down in my career, actually ended up becoming my strength. I'm realizing that, oh, the only reason why we were able to do this beautiful storytelling page for Mel Robbins is because I was using all of my other disciplines that I learned. What was our differentiator? I had everybody going to the meeting from the beginning and have involved from the project beginnings. And once they start talking about the story, the designer will be like, oh, maybe we can represent the story this way visually and blah, blah, blah. And the developer's like, oh, you know what? I can also do this animation like this. And then a designer will be like, oh, yeah? What happens is they start challenging each other. And once somebody makes it happen, they get inspired by that. They challenge it even more and even more, even more. And that's how like these amazing projects come out. Because my weakness is so impulsive and things like that, as you guys might notice, I change shit all the time within Night Owl Nation. I'll be like, 1 week, I'll be like, oh, no, we're going to do this. Oh, no, that didn't work. Let's try this. Like, and it drives people crazy and it makes people leave Night Owl Nation. But I don't care. People tell me this all the time. Your content is good. I don't give a shit because I see the assignments that are being done and I see the stories that people are coming back with. And to me, it's not good enough yet. So unless I see the results, I'm not going to stop. That's why I keep changing it. Yes, I know I can take the first version, all this great content that I teach on Sunday Survey, I can just package that up, boom, boom, sell it and just focus on selling. And I can turn it into a profitable business, but I don't want to. Because I know it can be done much better. So at the cost of me losing money, me losing time, I'll do it that way anyway. And that's what's happening here at Night Owl Nation right now. At the cost of me losing students, me confusing students, I'm trying to make the program better and better every quarter. So I don't feel right pushing a mediocre product out. So I'm still in the process of developing this product right now. A lot of people right now underestimate me like crazy, and they're trying to fix my weakness. Oh, just raise your prices, son. Oh, it's okay if 80% of the students don't complete it. It's okay. They see those as my weaknesses and they try to fix me. I don't give a fuck. Because like I've been here before, I've been the underdog before, I've been underestimated before. I stuck to what's important to me, and then that's how I grew my agency, and that's how I'm going to grow this thing. All these course creators out there going like, oh, just make money doing what you love, teach what you know. You're good at marketing, teach it. You're good at design, teach it. Everyone is great at driving. Everyone knows how to drive a car well. But most people suck at teaching people how to drive. So being a good driver has nothing to do with teaching somebody how to drive. Those are two completely separate skills. So I'm using an example that most people will get to contradict a famous cliche that everyone's saying, and I'm trying to break that myth. Just because you're good at something doesn't mean you're going to be good at teaching it. And the reason why I came up with that example is because that's kind of what I've been noticing in the past 2 years teaching. Oh, I'm so fucking good at storytelling. I'm just going to tell people everything that I know and it should be good, right? Wrong. Because that's what I've been doing. I just been doing it. And it sounds nice in the lecture again, but what I need to do is I need to come up with processes. I need to come up with exercises that's going to make them go through the same critical thinking that I went through to come up with these stories. So teaching what I know is not just me giving you information and giving you knowledge that's in my head. That's not how you teach. Teaching is me. I have to reverse engineer how I learned it and then come up with some sort of exercises that you can do easily. And then once you practice that exercise, next you have to practice this exercise. Next you have to practice this exercise. And little by little, that's how you're going to actually learn, right? So one of those things in my industry is, as a designer, what everybody tells us is, son, you can never just send a design to a client. If you want to impress them, you have to set up a meeting, make this presentation, and present it to the client so that you can explain it. Otherwise, they're not going to be impressed. But then what if I didn't explain it and I just gave to the client? If I send a design to a client and the client doesn't get it, that means when we go live, whoever the visitor that's visiting the website is not going to get it either. So one of the things we started doing, we just started sending the designs without any explanation. We just email the design to them first and let them go through it and see what that first impression feels like to them. In the next quarter, I came up with 10 different exercises that you can do. And these 10 different exercises that you're going to do every week is going to help you critically think about yourself and your business. And every week you're going to do this exercise. You're going to learn something about yourself. You're going to learn something about your business, and you're going to make changes and things like that. It's going to make the most impact for you. For this week, this is what I want you to do. This is the wrong way that I've been teaching so far, but there's a small percentage of you guys who can still do this. And for those of you, I want you to do option A. So write a brand story using the structure. So your weakness, I hate that I'm so blank. I hate that I'm so impulsive. I hate that I'm so emotional, right? And then 5-second moment where your weakness hurt you in life, right? Like when I talked about how, like, Swell Bottle, we ended up spending way more time and we ended up losing money because I was so impulsive and I keep changing my mind and things like that, right? And then when's the moment where you realize that actually turned out to be the biggest strength, right? For me, it's when American Red Cross decided to hire us, and the marketing director was like, oh, I love what you guys did for Swell Bottle. I'm like, oh, thank God I did that for Swell Bottle, because I wouldn't have gotten this $200,000 project, right? That's when I was like, aha moment, right? And then the lesson is how my weakness actually ended up becoming my biggest strength. And then finally, what makes your brand different? For us, because of that weakness, I decided to shrink down my team. I decided to put designer, copywriter, and developer all in the same room and start the project from beginning to end together, rather than separating them. The thing is, you can't use that as your story. And you can't tell that as your story if you're not actually doing that in your business. Then you got to do option B, which is, how does your weakness hurt your business? How does your strength help your business? So last week we talked about, give me an example of how your weakness hurt you, and give me an example of how it helps you, right? But this time I want you to, maybe it's the same one, but how it hurt your business and how it helped your business. Once you have the example, now I want you to think about, okay, what are some processes that you can implement in your business where that weakness is hurting me? And then what process can you put in to prevent that? And how does it help you? And what process can you put in to amplify that? Another thing I would love for you guys to do is, we need testimonials. So in your small group or big group meeting this week, share a 1 to 2 minute story of your experience at Night Owl Nation, and then make sure it's recorded on your small group meeting. And then your small group leader or big group leader will send it to me. And try to answer these questions. Why did you join Night Owl Nation? What was your experience at Night Owl Nation? And what did you get out of Night Owl Nation? And you don't have to make stuff up just because it's a testimonial. If Night Owl Nation was shitty and you didn't like it and it sucked, say that. I don't care. Like, I just be honest, right? Thank you, everyone. I'll see you all next Sunday, and have a great rest of the week. Cheers. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good week, everyone.
Bye, Rob. Bye,